I should never seize these. My YouTube people are going to yell at me for not putting never seize on these bolts. Good morning. It is a beautiful morning. Sun is shining. It's not raining. Yeah. So we ended up with almost a half-inch of rain on Saturday, which didn't look like we were going to get a half-inch of rain, but it's what we ended up with. So it is what it is. Too wet to do anything yesterday, and it is drying up nicely. I'm sure it's too wet to do anything today, although we haven't really looked at the fields. Maybe I'll go look this afternoon, but there's another chance of rain tonight and tomorrow, so probably not going to get much done here. But we do have a fair amount going on around the farm this morning. Right now, I'm heading down to my seed warehouse here because I got one of my customers brought his truck, and they're going to pick up their seed that I got sitting there. So I'm going to get him loaded up and out, and then we're working on a few other little projects. So we'll talk about them later. Loaded up. Okay, well, at some point today we may need to come down here and start cleaning up some of these empty boxes and just keeping things organized as best we can. So yeah, that pile of corn there is about the last of what I've got to get out of here, but I'm waiting on some beans that are coming tomorrow. So yeah, we're wrapping that up. Anyway, I'm gonna head back to the farm now, I guess. Okay, so we need to move the planter out of the way here. I think Dad's gonna try and do some spraying maybe this afternoon, and so we're gonna get his chemicals out, and this shuttle of boron is just about empty. I don't know if you guys can see that little bit in there, so I'm gonna get my next shuttle. I got a full shuttle. This one was what was left over from last year. We're gonna pump that into the other one and get rid of this empty shuttle, clean that out so it's ready to go, or we're ready to go there. We'll get his Matador, the soybean chemical shuttle, out, get the planter out of the way here, so we're ready to spray when he's ready to go. Think it'll fit? It'll be close. Well, it's as empty as it's going to get from sucking out it with a pump. I got a little over 8.5 gallons, and it fit. So that's good. I am going to flush this tank out with water, use the hose and rinse it out, and then we'll just put it into the mix container there, and we'll blend it in with the spray water when we go spray stuff. So Dad's going to need his chemical pump back that I borrowed to pump that boron out of that shuttle. And so I was looking through our shelves, and we had a couple of old ones here that I thought, what the heck, let's see if we can make these work. And some new batteries in the meter. Check it out. I think it's gonna work, and I got the right fittings. We got to put a hose together. Yeah, the batteries that I took out of there expired in 2002, if that tells you anything on how long this thing's been sitting around. Okay, well, I'm getting stuff set up here. I've got my boron for the corn starter there. That's the bean herbicide. Matador is what we use, at least on some of the beans. And I got my chemical pump that I got it all put together. It works. Well, at least it turns on. We'll see whether it works or not. But I almost made this work without having to buy any parts. But it won't quite go in far enough. It's hitting here. Just not quite gonna reach. So I need to get a little different elbow here, a regular elbow instead of a street elbow, and an extension so I can get that cam lock coupler onto there. So I don't have the right part to do that. I'll have to buy some. All right, well, since I've gotten done what I can on that project, I'm gonna go get some lunch real quick and go maybe stop back and see what Dad's working on. Like I said earlier, I think he was going to burn some brush piles and work on diverting some water out of the woods to keep it from running into our field on one spot. So we may go see how that's going. Well, I was on my way to lunch and I passed Dad in the backhoe heading back to the farm, so we're not going to go back and see what he was doing because he's not there. However, I am driving past the field where we planted beans on Friday, and I thought I'd pull in and dig some up, just see what stuff looks like. You can see it's dried off on top pretty good, but there is still just a little bit of moisture showing here, so Let's see if we can find a bean. Oh, right there. Oh, guys, look at this. Swelled up nice. No shoot yet. But they're swelled up. And so for those of you that don't know, soybeans, when they get planted and they imbibe water, they swell up and get big. And then they'll send a shoot down. Comes out of the top, framing. Comes out right up in there. And eventually the whole seed will push up through the ground and open up. Those are called the cotyledons, the kind of the first little leaves. And then they start growing from there. So cool, good sign. We got a ways to go. We need some heat, which we are getting some today. Should stick my thermometer in the soil, but yeah, promising. They're growing. They look good. Oh, we're experimenting here, making something. Let's see if this works.
I'm gonna run if it gets out to grow. Maybe we need one of them jets up front.
Maybe. Oh. Oh, that's not as exciting as I was hoping. I don't know. So the goal here is to be able to clean out a tile. It might work. We might need to tweak. Now we're talking.
That one's walking now.
Yeah. Well, that was crazy on film, but it's going much faster than that in real life. Dad's gonna go spray beans. The beans that we got planted, we got to get the herbicide on before they come up, and if it's gonna rain tomorrow or something, we need to get that done. So he's gonna do that. Jack and I are gonna go scout some fields.
All these rocks around?
We'll throw them out. I don't think it's dry enough, but the neighbors are out, so we gotta go see. Okay, here's how you know this is dry, guys. So last year, this spot here where there's no corn stalks, I had to plant around because it was June 8th and it was too wet. I don't know if there was water sitting here or not, but there was close. Watch what happens when I throw this shovel full of dirt. See how that all just breaks apart? Yeah, this is dry. Drier than it was last year. So that's a good sign. It's not terrible. It's not terrible, but there's, ooh, that's almost frozen. No, a little cold, but some of this is just gooey. So yeah, that's too wet. Now that was down sort of deep, but you're gonna compact it if we go on this. Yeah. We're gonna have to wait. The other side of that is this field is 175 acres. It is supposed to rain tomorrow, maybe even tonight. I wouldn't get it done anyway, so we'll wait, but it's not bad. Okay, so since we checked some fields and it's not quite dry enough to go yet, we're gonna work on this packer. I got my parts that I needed for it finally, some U-bolts, and Jack's up here so he can help me work on it. So I'm gonna back it in front of the barn and we're gonna unfold it and try and fix that scraper bar stuff up so that it works the way that it's supposed to. All right, so we're working on these scraper bars here. This side I think we're good on. That one wasn't too bad a shape. This one here, however, needs some work. So we took the whole bar off. We're gonna just kind of start from scratch. The first thing we figured is we can get a whole nother wheel on here. There's room for it. So we're gonna put a wheel on, which means we've gotta drop this bearing off the end. So we gotta support the gang a little bit there. We're gonna put some blocks down and lower it, and then we'll take that off. Try and get that wheel on there, and then we can put the scraper bar back up and adjust them so they're all in the right spot. All right, well, it went, and there was enough room, barely, but enough. So we had to take the bearing off the end and this plate off and stuff, and we'll get it put back together here, but that's part one. Well, we got that hanger bearing back on, and our scraper bar mounted back up there with the ones that mount to the brackets. The problem is it's right on the rib, and you gotta kind of stick it in there on an angle to make it work, and those aren't real good. But the rest of them should fit up pretty nice and be in the right spot now. So we're getting there. Good news. I squeezed all them center section wheels over, and we've got room to put one in there. So we're gonna take this apart and put another one on there. Yeah. Yeah.
They'd be any good, man.
Probably not. Lift up, aren't we? Get them. Yeah, this will come out.
Okay.
A little bit of weight on it. Yeah, there's still weight on it. Let me go lift it up.
Ooh.
What's that?
Washer.
Wore out, huh? Oh. Guess it's not drawn all the way tight to start with.
put more fuel in that yet? Okay. You have to put more than a tank of fuel through that yet?
Oh yeah. Why?
You know how far you were running.
Oh.
Taking advantage of that cheap gas?
Yeah. What do you get? 12, 13? No?
I was gonna
Ouch.
say, a 3/4 ton, 4-wheel drive like that, 10, 11.
I had it up to,
I get 12 or 13.
the average, I had it up to almost 12 when I was going down the Burton bend. The short ones, it knocks it back down.
Oh, yeah, no.
It says 11, but on my trip when I filled it up, it said 10.
Yeah.
Is it gonna fit?
Did.
Yeah.
It did.
I mean, you got enough room to put your everything else on?
Got it tight, yeah.
Good. Which one was the one that was missing?
I thought it was that side. I'm not convinced it was missing now as much as it was just loose and they had all slid down into one spot and there was a gap because I can't get one
on there.
I can't get one on there.
Oh, okay.
Got to have 4 inches and we've got like 3 to 3.5 over there.
Oh.
But we put one on both of these 2 sections.
Huh.
So
The one end's like not adjustable, right?
no, it's solid.
Yeah.
You just yeah. But this one was easy. I mean, there's plenty of room here.
I mean, you're gonna have plenty of space by your hanger and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, everything. The rest, that's all inside the frame of it. The rest of it's on the outside. Okay, this piece goes in first, right, Jack?
Yeah.
And then this.
Punch.
I do. I should never seize these. My YouTube people are going to yell at me for not putting never seize on these bolts. Aren't ya? I know, but I don't ever plan on having to take them apart again. I will have to, but I don't plan on it. Is that Dad coming back already?
Sounds like it.
Somebody else going to the field making me nervous.
I don't see nothing yet. But that doesn't mean too much.
I know. I don't know. I'll have to wait. Oh, that one's not started. Okay, so in the process of putting this one back together, we realized that the shaft is super worn on this bearing. That's not supposed to wiggle like that. And so we got to get a new one. I called up to the John Deere dealer where we bought this, and they got to order one from Brilliant. It'll probably take a couple of days to get, so we're going to put it back on there, and it'll be usable if needed, but not ideal, so we will get it fixed correctly. It's just a matter of getting the part, but we're going to let this sit here, so we got to get out of the way. Of course, you guys know what this means, that we're putting it back together before we get the right parts, right? It means that what I said a minute ago about I don't ever plan on taking this apart again, yeah, I was wrong already. I got to take it apart again. Now we get to do those scraper bars on the center section, which is going to be fun because they're a pain to get to. Also, it's cloudy. We lost our sunshine, which at least we got a half a day of nice weather. These scrapers. Come on. Pretty rough shape, as you can see, which is why we're fixing it. All right. Well, we're making progress on this scraper bar, but I ran out of good scrapers. So now we're going to put some of these ones that are questionable on. Kind of worn, but still functionable. So I'm putting them at least where they're accessible and I can get to them if I need to replace them easier. So, I don't know, 8 or 9 more here. There! Scrapers are done. And they're in pretty good shape now. A couple of them ones in the center are still worn some, but I used up what I had of the good stuff. I'll show you my pile here of worn out ones, and clearly, yeah, them we're done. So that's a good project to get out of the way. So the field cultivator is good to go now. I got to put my manual away and a couple of tools and stuff here, and then we'll wrap her up here. Okay, see that? Phil's going to plant beans. I can't hardly believe it. He went to look at the field he was in when he got rained out and decided he could try it, so he's gonna go. There's rain coming from the west. Maybe he can get done, who knows, but that's a good deal. Okay, well, this project on this packer's been on my mind since we had it out before we started getting stuff ready. I'm glad to get that done and feel better about it. We do got to get a new stub shaft for that bearing holder on the center frame there, but I don't have one, so when they get it, we'll replace that. That's a 5-minute job. That ain't no big deal. We'll see what we get for rain tonight. If somehow or another it doesn't rain tonight, I think we'll be in the fields tomorrow, assuming it's not raining, which it's not really supposed to rain during the day tomorrow. There was a chance overnight tonight, and then tomorrow night it's supposed to start. So who knows? We'll see. Hopefully Phil can finish the field where he's at least. That would be good. Dad did get the spraying done today. He got all the beans that we've got planted sprayed, so that is a good thing. Yeah, we're making progress. The weather's starting to warm up a little bit. Today was a pretty nice day out, so that's good. Spring is here. It's getting better out. I do have 2 seed trucks coming tomorrow, supposedly, both with beans on them, which is good because I've been waiting for some beans. So that will be good. I also, if it does rain and we're not in the fields, I've got another project that we're working on that I'll show you guys tomorrow. I did that little bit of plumbing with that pump here today, but I've got another little project that we're working on, trying to convert a tender trailer that we got over to some 3-inch stuff so that we can use the sprayer to just suck right out of it instead of pumping stuff on. And then we've got this tile cleaner, this doohickey that I showed you earlier, that I think it's going to work really well, actually. But we've got a 6-inch tile that we need to get cleaned out. It's got some dirt and stuff that's silted in from the ditch that it empties into, getting sort of plugged up or backed up. And we cleaned out the outlet, and now we need to run that through the tile and try and blast some of the dirt and stuff out of it so that it flows better. And I think that's why we've got a wet hole that never used to be there, because our tile's not working. So, yeah, it's Dad's little contraption that he has built, and we'll see if it works or not, but it looks like it'll work pretty well. For now, though, I'm going home. It's after 7. I'm tired. It's been a long day. So, have a great night, everybody. We'll see what happens tomorrow, like I said, and hopefully we'll be in the fields planting corn. That's what I would like to be doing. Yeah. Hit the like and subscribe buttons for me, please. Leave me comments and questions down below if you want to. I do have a few questions that I need to get to answering when I get a minute and when we're back in the planter. So yeah, I'm keeping track of some of that stuff. So anyway, yeah, that's it for tonight. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow.